Hey guys, it's Drew here with Drew's Quick Fixes and Hacks, and we're at the 1997 Tahoe today. Check this out. It is peeing out of my radiator hose. Literally up in the air, it's peeing all over the engine. That's not good. So today I'm gonna fix that. That's the heater hose quick release there, and I've already bought the part for it, so we're gonna do a video about it. But man, look at that. I smelled coolant leaking in my truck. And if you smell a strong coolant smell, you're always gonna wanna go and pop that hood and see if it's leaking in. Of course, here it's just showering all over everything. So yeah, anyway, let's get to it here. I'm gonna show you how I repair this, and hopefully it'll be an easy, quick repair. You know, I bought the part already. Let's get rolling here with Drew's Quick Fixes and Hacks. All right, guys, so as you can see there, it was really spitting stuff out. I actually ran the engine for a little while just to let it heat up and show you where that was. It actually took about 10-15 minutes for it to get that high, but if you go on a freeway or something, or you're driving, the pressure will kick out. So this was a fortunate leak because I was actually driving from Raleigh to Wilmington, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hour trip, and this leak was there. I smelled the coolant, but it was such a small leak, it didn't leak all the way out. So I got real lucky with that. Anyway, I like to run the car a little bit beforehand just to let the hose heat up, let it get a little tender, especially if it's cooler outside. Ironically, right now, mid-February in Wilmington, it's 60, 70 degrees out, which is just ridiculous. Anyway, in 2023, talk about global warming, right? So anyway, it's actually called a heater hose inlet tube, heater hose assembly. You can see it right here. I got this at AutoZone, and they did have it in store. Like, you can always call one store. If they don't have it, you can drive to another. And the one store that didn't have it said they could go and have it the next morning, and they said, or you can go to this other store and get it. So that's 626-105. And you can kind of tell by looking at it if it's the right hose. This has this protective coating on it, and then it's just a regular hose. This cost $47.99, I think. That's just ridiculous. Just because this little metal aluminum piece on the end and this little guard, you can't use a regular hose. So that's just nuts. I mean, almost upsetting that you have to buy a specialty hose, but that's the way Chevrolet did it. This is probably the third time I've had this replaced. The truck has 187,000 miles on it. Now, whether that was originally an issue on another time and they just charged me for something different, I don't know. But according to my records, I've replaced this hose 3 times in 187,000 miles. And actually 100,000 miles, because I bought this truck with 68,000 miles on it. So there you go. Okay, so we're getting through this here. All right, so the first thing I want to do, I'm gonna wipe things off a little bit here. Got coolant everywhere. I'm gonna pop open the air coolant here, or the air filter here. We're gonna take that top off so we can have a little better access to the area. And so here's the air filter housing. And I didn't bring a screwdriver with me. Oh, got some coolant in there. That's not good. You definitely don't want coolant going in your air filter. So that's not good. And I'm trying here with this thing, guys. Okay, so should have brought my screwdriver with me. I'm gonna go get a screwdriver. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and loosen up this air intake here. I'm going to take this off to get it out of my way, get it working right here. Okay, so anyway, you can just, that's why for those of you that don't know, I'm just partially dyslexic. Right and left are the same thing. I was tightening when I should have been loosening. And there's a little switch on that gear wrench thing. So anyway, we're going to take this off. You don't want the collar to get too loose. You don't want to overdo this. You can just pull this off here very carefully. And of course, when you re-put this on, you do not have to do this, guys, to do this. I just want to make it accessible so I can get in there. But most people don't take the air filter off to do this, but I'm doing that. So there's a couple plugs you want to take care of here, little clamps. Pull that one off. You also want to make a note of what goes where. For those of you who are wondering why when you go to a mechanic, sometimes you have problems later. It's because mechanics don't carefully put stuff back, or they have an issue or they'll loosen something when they do that. Like by pulling on those wires, I could have caused an electrical problem. You never know. So that's why a lot of times when you go to a mechanic, you end up coming back. Sometimes there are still some shady Bob mechanics that do little things to make work for themselves, especially with electric cars coming out, guys. All right, so this, I believe, is the hose part that goes here. I already replaced these a while back if you looked at my other videos. So yeah, all right, so let's get to it. I think that hose goes all around here. So we're gonna move this over here out of the way. Let's put all the housing together there. There we go. We don't need the wrench anymore. So I'll just set that down. All right, guys, we're doing this as we go along. Anyway, here's some more cool gear wrench products he sent me. These are panel pullers, and these are gonna help me. This is a panel puller clamp also, but there is a tool, Gear Wrench sells it as well. It's called a hose clamp removal tool. It's got a big, long line on it, and you clamp it down. But I think for today, these will work. These are like forceps. I really like these, just enough to pinch. So they're a little better than regular pliers. And then if I have any trouble, I'm gonna pull it with this panel puller. You can always use a screwdriver too if you don't have one of those. So let's just see how this comes off. Now guys, a heads up, there's two places to remove this here. There's one area right here where you just kind of pinch with your fingers and pull. You want to be very delicate. See this thing right here, this whole little setup, that's like aluminum, and I can't tell you how many videos on YouTube there are of where that's broken off. It broke off on my truck about 10 years ago. And you know, it just means they have to rethread the whole thing. So it can be a real pain if it breaks off. I'm gonna use these to pinch this in very lightly and gently. You wanna be gentle here, guys, because if that, where it's corroded in here, if that comes off again, I'm not gonna be able to do that. I'll have to hire a mechanic to do it, and it can be expensive. But we're just gonna try to pull this off here. Oh, the first thing I want to do, guys, depressurize the radiator. It's cooled down a little bit here. So forgot about that part. That's the main part you want to do, is pull that cap on the radiator, not when it's hot. So when it was spraying out, you definitely don't want to do that. And wow, that's in there. Okay. No wonder these break off, guys. I am really worried about that. Well, I'm definitely gonna take this one off first, because if I can't get that off, I gotta, this one, the truck is obviously still drivable. This is the other one. I wanna keep, you know, there's got, I know it's just welded in there, but not welded, but all that corrosion has caused it to stick. And so you can see here where the hose is just pulling like that. That's where the hose is deteriorated over time. The leak was coming from the neck right here. So, and this clamp, believe it or not, I'm supposed to reuse this plastic piece, so I can't break it. Very frustrating. Sure, you can buy the plastic clamp, but okay, so it's in. Just gotta finagle it out there. It's coming. So I'm gonna wiggle it a little bit. I think it's coming, hopefully. Oh boy. Unless that last guy glued this in here, it's very possible the last mechanic at a dealership put some adhesive in there or something. Oh man, this is not fun. This, you know, I'm not a mechanic, guys, but it is just hard trying to finagle. It's wiggling. I can feel it coming out. There's a little gasket in there. There's a couple other videos too if you want to see how people get this out, but it's in there. So you can see here there's a little clamp on the side. Let's push in on that. See this little wall here? That's where one part is. And down here there's also another little Maybe I can push the screwdriver between that. I really think the last mechanic glued this in here, which sucks. You know, they didn't care about the next person. And the risk I'm taking here is that that metal part that's corroded can come out. I'll just keep trying. Worst case scenario, I'd take it into a shop. Okay, so it does twist. See, guys? See how I can twist it a little bit? There we go. Out it comes. Got it. Now it's leaking. So I'm gonna put a towel under there just to sort of stop that. But it's not really gonna help that much, but it'll absorb, it'll at least slow it down. So it's not gushing out. Okay, so there we go. Now this clamp is a part of, so guys, what I did, again, to refresh, I wiggled it a little bit sideways, left and right. And that clamp is on there. This whole clamp and this gasket you're supposed to reuse. So we pop this off. As you'll see, the new hose doesn't have that, which is awful. Really ought to have that on there. Oh. So you're just gonna take, like, a flathead screwdriver seems to work fine. I'm just gonna loosen that out. You can actually see, wow, look at that corrosion. That's the aluminum, or what, I think this whole head is aluminum. There's one part. Definitely don't want to lose this, guys. I'm gonna put it right here in the thing. And then you gotta get this other part off. Very carefully. Oh, looks like the bracket's still intact, or the gasket head. Just slide it off. I wonder if my no, I don't want to use the panel puller in this. That's not going to help with that. Right now it's not. I definitely don't want to break this plastic piece. So you can see where the plastic piece just kind of hangs over this lip here. There we go. There we go. I got both over this little lip. And we're sliding it off. Okay, so guys, so these little, on the GoPro, I'm trying to, you know, it's harder because I'm not here. These little things right here clamp around that. So put that also in my little safe spot right there. So you can see now this hose looks a lot like this one, minus the corrosion. Look at that, guys. Now I have heard sometimes that if you mix Dex Cool, which was the original used stuff, with regular coolant, it can cause corrosion. That may be true. I don't know. I just don't like that orange Dex Cool stuff. So I've been using green coolant for years in this truck after I had a radiator leak a while back because it cleans out. This is an aluminum hose. I'm sure if you stuck to a magnet, it wouldn't stick. So there you have it, guys. And you can see on here, it's not quite the same, but you see how it's not bulging like that? This is so soft right here, guys. That's where that spit was coming out. Look at that. Oh, there it is. See if we can zoom in. See that hole? Look at that. Ah! It's like gum. Okay, guys, so I got to rig up. These have a little more clamping ability, a little more wider teeth on here, as you can see. So hopefully that will help. I knew this was going to end up not being simple, of course, but you know, this would probably cost 150 bucks to have done. The part was $47.99. And a lot of mechanics upcharge about 50 to 100%. There we go. We got it. See how, so that was a better pliers. Not, you know, just for getting this on. You learn as you go, right? So now it's big enough to get around the ring there. And we want that ring to be on the top, so that I can reach it again if I need to. loosen it up so I have room. So then we're gonna get this on. And then once that's in there, I'm gonna tighten it back up. Get on there nice and snug. Hey, halfway there, guys. So now if you look, it's in there. Now all I need to do is slide the clip over that. And hoping that'll work. Okay. So the clip is on its side again. Oh, man. There we go. I'll pull it forward. All the way forward. This is tough, guys. There we go. Got it. I just had to twist it in there a little bit. Come on, guys. Come on. Get in there. Get her done. Okay, it's almost on. Now, so these clamps helped a little bit. Let's see if we can use the regular pliers to radiator cap. Let's go back to regular pliers again, just to get the pinch on this on the top. And then these are slipping, that's the thing. Golly, guys. Right tool for the right job, it is. Now I've got it and it's on. All right, guys. So there we go. Several tools, several tries. Oh my God, what a nightmare. This is in there pretty tight. Everything's in place now. I just need to put the air filter back on. Oh my goodness. Put the radiator cap back on, don't want to forget that. I got to fill the radiator up with coolant again, especially because it's winter. I need to be careful I put enough coolant in versus water. Okay guys, so we're going to put a little bit of coolant in the reservoir, and then I'll add some water later. But for now, just want to make sure there's enough coolant in here. This is pure coolant, not 50-50. Lost quite a bit, so I'm going to some straight into the radiator. And you should use distilled water when you're doing this. For the 50-50, that looks good enough. So for now, I'm just gonna run it with the radiator fluid. So let's crank her up. Hope she doesn't fall apart. Of course, the truck has to get hot for it to spray again, but at least we can see whether it's leaking right away. All right. Looks like it starts pretty well. You know, I'll have to let it heat up. I'm gonna put some more water in here and heat it up because I don't want it to run on just coolant. And I'm gonna put distilled water in. So guys, it looks like it worked out. That was a nightmare for me. Get yourself a coolant hose removal tool, and that'll help you out a lot because it's a clamp that holds it down while you're doing all that work. You don't have to pinch it with your fingers and keep losing it like I did. An essential thing to have. Well guys, thanks for watching. This is Drew with Drew's Quick Fixes and Hacks, and you watched this video and you saw how hard it can be for an amateur to do this, but in the long run, it's worth it. You save some money and you save some time, or you don't save time, you save some money, and you don't have to worry about a mechanic, you know, messing with your car or anything like that. I love doing my own stuff because I know what I've done, and I know what's going on with my truck. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Drew with Drew's Quick Fixes and Hacks, and the Tahoe is still surviving 187,000 miles. Hit that subscribe button and give it a like, and if you're not already a subscriber, hit the bell, and the bell will let you know when I make a new video. Thanks for watching, guys.